So this session we are going to see about a concept called CSS box model. The CSS box model is actually the way CSS handles every element. It is said that CSS follows box model. What exactly it is, let me just first of all, this is the page we designed. Now let's go to the browser. Here I am opening the developer tool and clicking on the inspect element. Now if I roll over the mouse, you obviously see that there is some area highlighted. You can say that this is a box actually which is appearing. This element, there is a box. This element, there is a box. Let me click this element now. Now if I just scroll here, then you see this image at the bottom, the style. And when I roll over the mouse, you will observe that every section is either highlighted or not highlighted depending on what section I am selecting and is there any value for that section or not. But here what I want to say is that when I selected this particular element, you observe here that there is something called padding, border and margin. Of course, there are few values also that we will see. What I want to tell you here that every element by CSS is treated as a box, and that is called as CSS box model. It goes something like this. If you have an element, what all possible ways you have to apply the CSS is you may change the content format. That is, you may change the color, the font size, the font family, or many other things related to content. That is one formatting. Second, you give border to this element. Remember, to give a border, you do not need to draw a rectangle. You can, of course, but it's not an ideal way. Every element has its own border. You just have to switch it on and off in CSS. I will show you that. Here you have the element, you have the border around the element, the distance between content and the border, which is called as the padding, and the distance between two elements, which is called as margin. This means you have content, padding, border and margin. This is how the sequence goes. Content, distance between content and border, right? Then the border. You can format the border. You can give the border or you do not give the border. If you have given the border, you say color of border, the type of border, that is you want dashed, you want dotted or whatever. You want thin line, you want thick line. That's the way you can format the border. And then you can increase or decrease distance between two elements. Every element is treated as a box, and this is how the box looks like. So for this selected element, if you see here, you have the content. The content is 1567 by 45. Is there any padding? No, there is no padding we have given. Is there any border we have given? No. Any margin? By default, it has set some margin, but we did not give any margin at all. So this is what a box model is. If I ask you what is box model, every element is treated as a box, which has content, padding, border and margin. This is how it looks. Let's go to the code. And now for this H1, I want to give some formatting. We tried the external CSS in the previous session, but now we do not want that. Now let's say for both the H1s, I want to give some formatting. So here also, here only I am giving the style, that is the inline style. So you can see this in a single page, right? Which is easy to understand. I am giving the element selector. Now you know what selectors are. In H1, let's say I want to give border to this H1, right? Or both the H1s, right? When you say H1, that means all the H1s will have border. The border I want to give, it means I can give individual border items. What I'm saying is I can say border, bottom, top, border style. I can say border style, what type of border I want, dotted, dashed, double, groove, hidden and so on, right? So you can define individual border settings. You can say the top border you want or not, the bottom border you need it left and right. You can do that. Instead of that, CSS gives you something called CSS shorthand, where you just give border. What type of border you want? I say solid. What color I want to give? I can give. Let's say I want to give 1 pixel solid border and the color I want to give is, let's say, blue. I'll just save this, right? Let's go to the output and we just refresh the page. You see this now? Do you also observe this? Border, it says all 4 sides, it is 1. Remember, you can choose this border top, left, or whichever side you want to, but generally border is something which we try to give all sides equal, right? Generally that's the case, but you may have a different situation in your project. But in case if you do not want to set individual items like border style and everything, border color, border top, border left, you don't want individual items, then you have a provision in CSS called CSS shorthands. The shorthands are also applied not only in border, it can be used with padding, margin and other things that we will see as we go on. But this is a CSS shorthand I have tried here, right? Now here let's say I give 2 pixels, right? I want the dotted one, right? And you want to change the color also, which we are not changing at the moment. I save this, refresh. You see now you have a dotted border. Let me make it solid and 1 pixel. Now see, when I was saying that you don't need to draw a rectangle, you have the border. Every element has border. That's what box model says. Every element can be formatted using the content, the border, the padding and the margin. Now let's try padding also. For example, at the moment, I'll just refresh this. We have this type of border here now, and you see the distance between these 2 elements, right? There is a specific formatting. Let's say, let me click on this. If I click here, does it have any margin? Yes, by default it has 21.440. That's the margin it has. Now, let's say you want to change the distance between these 2 H1s, right? You want to either increase it or decrease it. Let me increase the distance. What I'll do, I'll say margin. Now again, margin has a provision of shorthand. I can say margin top. Margin top, how much you want to. Let's say I want to give 10 pixels. That means the top margin will be 10 pixels. But let's say you don't want to give individual values, that is margin top, left, right or bottom. In this case, of course, you have a choice. Like for this H1, I just want to increase the top margin, right? If I increase the top margin, the distance between these 2 elements will change, because for this second element, there will be more margin. Let's try that. Let's do inline styling for this H1. I'll say style, right? Here I'm going to say margin top 10 pixels. Save this and we refresh, right? And I select this particular element. Now you see the margin is 10. Of course, it is not visible because it's a very small margin. Because earlier by default it was 21.440. So if you want to see some difference, you can make it, let's say 50 pixels. I just save this and refresh. Now you see this particular element is coming down. So for this element, the margin is now, the top margin only is 50. I'm just removing this inline styling. It was just to make you understand. But this was individual margin, and that too for H1, one H1 only. But here I want to give margin. Now margin also gives you a provision where you have shorthand. When I say shorthand, that means you can write like this. See, 10 pixels space 20 pixels space 30 pixels space 40 pixels. I am giving different values here. If I give 10 all, anyway, there is a better way if you have to give 10 for all. But at the moment I am giving 10, 20, 30 and 40. In this case, this CSS shorthand, what this will do, you just say margin. This is for top. This is for the right. This is for the bottom, and this is for the left, right? So top, right, bottom and left, it goes clockwise, right? So instead of saying margin dash top whatever, margin dash right whatever, you just do like this. Each value you separate it by a space and it does the job. Now let me save this and refresh. Observe all the H1s. You see the right hand side margin is the 40. So it is the highest value we have. The top margin is only 10. This margin, the left margin, is now 20. So now your border is changing as well. So margin is basically the space around the element which you can give top, bottom or whatever. Also, let's say instead of 10, 20, 30 and 40, for example, I just remove this 40. Then what will happen? Then here, this will be for the top. This will be for the left and right. And this will be for the bottom, right? Top, left and right and bottom. Let's save this. Refresh. 10 for both left and right, it is 20, right? And bottom is 30. In case if you give two values, then 10 is for top and bottom and 20 is for left and right, right? Let's refresh again. Now you see top and bottom is 10 and left and right is 20. And if you give only 10 or 20 or 50, whatever, this is for all four sides. So now this is equal margin. You just say like this, and every side you have 10 pixels left for every element which is H1. If you give it for single element, it will be for that element only. So this is how the margin works. Now let's talk about the padding. We have discussed already what border is. Now padding is something which is distance between the content and the border. You see this border and the T which is starting just immediately after the border is there. So if you want to, let's say for this, what will you do? This is the left hand side of this border, right? So the left padding should be increased. Now again, padding is also something where you have the CSS shorthand. So you write padding top, padding left, padding bottom and so on. Or you simply say padding, for example, I give 20 pixels. That means all four sides, same as margin. You can give 4 values for top, right, bottom and left, right? 3 values, maybe 2 values for top, bottom and left and right, or just 20 pixels. That is for all four sides you give padding 20 pixels. Save this, refresh. Now you see this is what padding does. On the right hand side you won't be able to see it because the border is till the end, right? So there is padding added. See this 20, 20, 20, 20. It says this padding is 20, but you do not see because this right hand side is too big. How will you control that? So there are two more CSS properties we are looking at, and those are height and width. Height, anyway, with padding and margin you are setting, but let's say width I want to control. For all H1s I want just 300 pixels or maybe 200 pixels. Because you have the border, you will be able to see the width. Let's say you don't have border, then also if you have applied the width is whatever you have given. But with border, you realize that this is how it looks, right? It's just about the visibility. Now you see this. The moment you decrease this width, this text is now getting formatted. It comes automatically on new line. And you see this 200 by 74 because the width is already 200. Now let me decide. It's already, the height is already 74 pixels for this, and for this it will be lesser. Let me say inspect element, right? It is 37. Let's say I want these two H1s to appear as rectangle. How about that, right? Let's do that. So what will I do? I'll say height 300 pixels and width also 300 pixels. Now if I refresh, they both look the rectangle. You see this? There is a display property where you can simply say inline block. Remember, this display we are going to see in detail at a later stage, right? Because it's very important. But at the moment, just to show you that how does it look. You see this? It comes on the same line now because I have given display inline block. Alright, so now we have seen what CSS box model is. How do you give border, margin, padding, width and height, content any way you are formatting. See, these three are part of box model, but content is also part of box model. How do you format the content? Well, you have already seen that you set the font color, font size. That's all about formatting the content. So whenever you are working with CSS, you have to make sure that you are clear with these concepts. You understand the box model very well, right? That's really very important.